and welcome back to the channel. This video is going to review and kind of talk about our trip to Ito via the Saphir Odoriko train. After completing the ticket purchasing process, I would recommend going well in advance of your trip to buy your ticket because there's different levels of quality that you can reserve for yourself, and we were a little bit limited in our options. For example, we weren't able to book the full room just because we didn't book far enough in advance. We did, however, book far enough in advance to be able to sit and eat at the cafeteria on the train. They had a couple of different meal options, but none of them seemed vegetarian, so I opted out from the meal. But Felix got a ramen, which he said was okay. Also, we got matcha ice cream and madeleines, so those were all pretty good. And then we just kind of like enjoyed the ambience. The cafeteria area is really pretty, and like when you would go through tunnels, it just kind of like really emphasized that. So once our reservation was up, we went ahead and headed out. That's what you see us doing here. And then we went across the train, and there's like a window near the restroom where you can look out. So we stopped and looked out the window here. The train on the way to Shizuoka passes by some beautiful coastal views. And on the wall is a little information board. So if you do get lost on the very large train, that was available to everybody, as well as for those who weren't able to make a reservation at the cafeteria. They did go ahead and push a cart through the train, providing everyone with refreshments. So that was nice. Since we already had the cafeteria food, we didn't use that, but it was accessible. And then, of course, at this point, we're getting off the train. We came to our stop, which was in Ito, and so we had to grab all of our stuff and then go ahead and head off of the train. We knew that we had arrived at our stop because they did both a verbal announcement and they have a screen where you can view which stop that you're arriving to. Speaking of stops, this was my second time visiting Shizuoka. I had been once before to visit the Izu Shaboten Zoo. I'll go ahead and link that video here. But this was my first time really visiting with the goal of just walking around and experiencing the vibes and the culture of the city for a couple of hours, because we were only staying for a few hours until we were taking our train back through Yokohama and heading home. So we just decided to walk through the city, and that is what you're seeing here. As far as the walk is concerned, I don't really have any super helpful hints or tips, although when we started walking in a general direction away from the train station, there were a couple of signs pointing us in the direction of local landmarks, which we just went ahead and followed. But really, I wanted to take the opportunity here to let you guys know that I really appreciate you for watching, especially if you have been subscribed and coming back week after week. You are making a huge difference for this channel. And if you are watching right now and you have not subscribed yet, but you've been thinking about it, please know that whether you subscribe or not is up to you, but it does make a huge positive change for this channel for everyone who does subscribe. We're trying to get to the 2,000 subscribers mark, and you could be the difference between us achieving that goal or not. So if you are enjoying the content and you're thinking about subscribing, please consider going ahead and hitting subscribe. It's free and it's an easy way to keep up to date with all the videos that I create and upload. So thank you for everyone who is participating in supporting this channel. And while we're on kind of a brief segue while we walk to our next location in this video, I just wanted to say that the videos that I make are not only for people that live in Japan or are traveling to Japan, or people that have access to travel someplace very far away from them. More and more recently, I've been finding a lot of places around where I live that I frankly have never visited before. There's an area that I plan on showing in a video coming up, which is really not that far from my house, that I didn't even know existed. So I encourage you, if you are enjoying this content and you're interested in traveling and maybe it's just not feasible for you to travel to Japan right now, keep dreaming big, and also maybe explore some areas that are closer to you and see what adventures you can find near your area. Of course, safely. Like, definitely research the area and make sure that it's a safe place to go. But I just wanted to share that because I never even knew about several of these places that are really not that far from where I'm at. Even this trip, Yokohama Station is not that far from me, but I didn't even know about this train or the ability to take the like Saphir Odoriko train from one place to another. My husband found it. I didn't know. So there's a possibility that there's something fun to do or something that you would enjoy that's very close to where you live, or that's, you know, a manageable distance that you could enjoy yourself, even if you are not planning a trip to Japan right this second. And of course, if you are planning a trip to Japan, I really hope that the stuff that I share maybe helps you plan out how you commute or where you're going and all of that. But I just wanted to share that. And sure enough, that is my husband trying to befriend a cat, and this happens often, so I just wanted to go ahead and share it yet again. And here is the Ito Orange Beach area. We took a walk along this beach. It's really pretty, as you can see. This video was filmed on a kind of overcast day, but nonetheless, this area was very pretty, and it wasn't crowded with tourists either. I specifically enjoyed this park because it felt like an open air modern art museum. I really enjoyed all of the sculptures and structures. They're tricky to see in the video, like you can't really see the full I guess scope of them, but like in person there were just so many shapes that mimicked reality. The one I was pointing out there was looked like a bird, like perched on top of like a hand or something. And yeah, this place was really cool. It was a nice place to walk around. So this is another place in Ito that I really recommend stopping by, even if you're on your way someplace else. This area was really nice. And once we left the park, the next place we went was a restaurant for me to grab some food before getting back on the train. There were a couple of different restaurants around this area that had some vegetarian options. I didn't record at the location where I got food, but just keep in mind, if you are vegetarian and you're traveling to a more rural part of Japan, the options for your dietary needs may be a little bit limited. It's usually possible to find something, but they just may be a little bit limited. So please keep that in mind. When in doubt, maybe bring a good snack with you. But I was able to find something. And then we're walking down this alley. Ito is actually really known for onsen, and that is one of the reasons why I would like to go back. So hopefully I can come back to this area and do a video visiting one of the bathhouses. I believe this whole area is kind of dedicated to bathhouses. But my husband found this street cover and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. He pointed out the kid in the back didn't look like he was having a good time, but everybody else did. So I'm not sure why they designed it like that, but it was kind of funny to us. Anyways, we got back to the station. By then we've been walking around for several hours and we were ready to get back in the train and get into our comfy seats. I love trains so much, and they're probably my favorite way to travel. I can always sleep well on them. This train actually made me want to visit Okinawa. Okinawa is another place I really love in Japan. But yeah, this is our train. We had a higher quality seating arrangement on the return trip. There was also the option to book like a full room, but we didn't have enough time to like be able to book it because they were all booked up, probably because it was like the holiday weekend when we traveled. So that's probably the reason for that. But honestly, I was really appreciative of the seats that we had. They were very comfy, and I honestly could have stayed on the train for much longer. I could have like just done like an all-night trip on this train and slept. Even though the seats look very upright, they actually allowed you to recline. So like they had like an upright looking shape, but they allowed you to recline. They had stow areas. I think the only thing that they didn't have was a massaging option. If they do, I don't know about it, but they were really, really comfortable. And it was honestly a really cozy ride back. I was sorry when we got to Yokohama Station and had to deboard. And it was definitely a drastic difference when we got off of this train and then got back on the regular trains, which are comfy in and of themselves, but nothing like this. So in a nutshell, I highly recommend. This train was a little bit pricier than the normal train. I think it was around $130 both ways, like round trip, but well worth it. And that's all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!